Now then, crew, and welcome back to the Andy Mechanic YouTube channel. Now, this is the second part to the saga of getting the communication system on the little DR200 up and running between itself, me, the rider, and the support vehicle. We're using CB radios as the actual communication link. However, if you watched the previous video, you'll have realized that we had a major dilemma. We're not going to be using any of the center stuff whatsoever. The good news is I have spare microphones. I've got two microphones here that I've cut the ends off, the plugs. So I've got spare mics, spare speakers, which are built into the microphone. So it's a speaker mic, by the way. And of course, we've got the little push-to-talk button on the side. Now, already fitted to the bike is the push-to-talk system for the center, which all it does is go closed circuit when you press the button. I've already tested it. Press the button, completes the circuit. Perfect. If we dig our way, if we dig our way into one of these mics and I want to test the push-to-talk button on here, if it works the same way, perfect. Then we can use the one that's already fitted to the handlebars. Inside the mic, we've already seen, those that have watched the previous video, we've already seen that the speaker has two wires and it has a little plug onto the circuit board. The microphone has two wires and has a little plug onto the circuit board. So all I intend to do is to keep this body, this microphone body, with the circuit board and plugged into the radio unit using the mic, which has already got the original plug still on it, so I have not chopped it up. That will be plugged into the radio. This will be inside the box, and I'm going to extend the wires between the circuit board and the microphone will be on a boom on the helmet, and extend the wires for the speaker. And the speaker will be on the side of the helmet, and there'll be wires running under the seat, under the tank, with a connector, obviously, so I can unplug it and get off the bike. And that's the plan. And use the push-to-talk button that's already on the handlebars. All I'm doing is extending wires. I'm not doing anything else. I'm not changing color codes. I'm not swapping things around. I'm not trying to understand what the circuit board does. We're still keeping the circuit board. So I'm really dumbing this down to try and make it fail safe. The other benefit is I'll have a few spares to take with me in case I have any problems. So without further ado, let's pull one of the older mics apart, because the one with the plug on, I can just use the plugs, can't I? And I can use that one. So let's pull one of these apart and let's extract the speaker and extract the microphone. And we can also test the push-to-talk button to see if it's a push-to-talk button that completes a circuit or breaks a circuit when you want to transmit, i.e. when you're pressing the button, is the circuit closed or open? We need to know that. Hopefully it's going to be closed. If it's not, I can get around it by using a relay, but I'd rather not. I want to try and keep this as simple as possible. Used.
You don't paint something without wiping.
Honestly. But it's a hot day today and it's only going to get hotter. Okay, well, you saw in the previous video me pull one of these apart, so I'll be as fast as I possibly can, because this could end up being quite a long video, but we'll see how we get on. We'll see how we get on. I suppose it just highlights the fact that you've got to keep things simple. The simpler you can make things, with the least number of components, the better. Less chance of failure. Right, screws. Oh, one of the viewers, Simon, reached out to bigclive.com. He also has a YouTube channel regarding this particular issue, to see if he could help. And Clive is a very, very clever electronics engineer. He does a lot of really smart stuff, way above my knowledge base, way above. But I find it interesting watching his videos, so thank you, Clive, really appreciate it. Keep making those good videos, mate. And even Clive came back and said, you know what, I can't make a recommendation. I just don't feel 100% happy based on the information that's been given that we can do that. Okay, so we've got to push the torque button on the side. So we need to find out if that's going to be closed circuit when we press it. I'm pretty sure it is. We've got the, now let's have a little look. So black and red is the mic, because they're a bit twisted together at the moment. Let's see if we can untwist that. Hang on. Yes, there we go. Look, get the big cable out of the way. Sorry, people. Wires. There we go. Okay, so we've got black and red down here off the board. That's for the microphone. And the thicker gauge wires, red and white, are for the speaker. And they just plug into the circuit board very conveniently using these little tiny plugs. Now, hopefully we can get them unplugged. We should maybe label these up. Mind you, I've got two others, so it's all right. I've got reference. Okay, so that one's unplugged. That is the speaker. And we've got the microphone unplugged. Excellent. This is great news. Okay, so we can get rid of that, this little seal thing as well. Let's get rid of that. And we could even unplug the cable, the mic cable. This is one of the ones that's being chopped off, so I'm not too concerned. This is just spares at the moment. We can even disconnect the cable. Hopefully. It's coming. It's coming. There we are. Look, right from the circuit board. Brilliant. So we'll get rid of the cable. Don't need that. So we've got the speaker and the microphone. I wonder what's under here. Big metal bit. Interesting. Is that just to give the mic a bit more weight, so it feels more quality? I don't know. Maybe it is. Where's my screwdriver? There we go. Let's see what's under there. It's glued in as well. Does it have any function whatsoever? Wow, no, it's just weight. Just two metal plates. There's another one underneath. That's just the push to talk button, okay. Do we need to get the plate out? Probably not. Is it fun getting the plate out? Yeah, a little bit. Interesting why they put plates in it. But I think it's just to weight the mic. I think. There we go. Come on, you can do it. There we are. Right. So those two metal plates are out. Don't need them. Okay, now the microphone is just glued in and the speaker is glued in. So I need to extract those from the casing. I'm tempted on the bike, because the mic is so small and it's already in a housing, I'm very tempted to leave it in one of these casings and then just run the wire out through here. And it also means I can use, you know, potentially the cable. I can just solder two of these wires to those two wires, so those two wires there, and it's got a nice finished grommet kind of thing and a cable to it, and then I can run that off to wherever I need to run it. So I think we need to really try and work smart, but I can only use the kit that I've got. So for now we'll leave the mic in there, and I need to just cut through that silicone and get the speaker taken out. Yes. I'm just thinking, actually, I may just leave the speaker in and not use that speaker. And then, if I get the other mic that I cut the cable off and just use the speaker in there, you know, take the circuit board out, but just use the speaker. And again, I've got the coily wire. Mind you, I need a coily wire. Anyway, work it out. And then I can just essentially glue or mount the microphone with the speaker already housed on the side of the helmet. Yeah, You may be thinking on the side, yeah, on the side, but I can do it on the outside. I've got a very special helmet. It's an old helmet, and it wants thrown away, but I think it'll do this job. So let me show you the helmet next, and you might get a better idea of what my plans are. Okay, this is the helmet that I'm going to use for the trip. I quite like an open face helmet anyway. The centre is a full face, which is okay because it would cut down on wind noise and stuff. But underneath, if you can see or not, we've got this sort of... This is a farming helmet, right? And the idea is that through the sides of the helmet where your ears are allow for noise to enter, all right? So there's actually holes underneath this grill. There's more holes which go directly into the helmet. In fact, let me take that cover off and then we'll have a look. Right, haven't taken this off before. Not too sure how easy it is to get it off. There is a little blanking thing there though, but I don't think there's a screw under there. We'll find out. Am I going to reuse this? Probably not, to be honest, but we'll see. Oh, it's just glued. Look at that. Sorry, camera. There we go. It's coming off, which is great. If it's only glued on, then it's not an issue, is it? There we are. Right. So we'll get rid of that. Obviously, I've got all that to clean up. But can you see, look, it's got holes here so you can hear the little sheep, little lammies and moo cows and piggies and stuff. And if I know it looks quite rudimentary, but, I need to, in here, the speakers are about as waterproof as it's going to get. And these are designed for outdoor use, by the way. If I just use this to house a speaker and mount it on there, like that, and I could even have a little rail coming off so I could just slot that in from the top and it'll clip into place. Or I might even put a bead of silicone around here and just silicone it into place like that. I've got some spare silicone, so I could do that. I could remove the clip and I could make it so it screws into position. There's a number of different options that I can do. So that's the and probably that way around actually, I would say. It gives us a bit more room for the boom. And then underneath, I'm going to mount, the idea is a boom off here that runs around, and I can mount the other microphone, which is going to house the mic and nothing else up on the front of the helmet. And by keeping the mic inside the microphone casing, as I'm riding along, it should be protected somewhat by the wind, so we're not getting loads of wind whistle and stuff. Hopefully. We'll have to just see how it goes. So I hope all of this is making sense so far. We've worked out a rudimentary way of doing the speaker on the side of the helmet and doing the microphone on the front of the helmet, and everything is staying exactly the same as GME planned it in the factory as regards the wiring. All I'm doing for those two circuits is extending the wiring between the circuit board and the components, so nothing should really go wrong. The gauge of the wire, because it's quite a long run, I will be using larger gauge wire because that's all I've got anyway, and that will help to preserve, or reduce fault drop. Now, that push to talk button, let's go back to one of the mics that I've got in bits, in fact the circuit board that's already out, and let's see if we can test that push to talk button to see if it makes closed circuit when we press the button, or does it go open circuit when we press the button. Right, we have a meter. The meter is on beep 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 session, continuity test we call that. So I can get the meter out of the way a bit, and with my terrible eyesight I want to have a little look, see if we can find the terminals. Now, by the looks of it, the metal casing comes down and is soldered into place on these two larger points here, and the circuit itself actually, I could be wrong, it looks like almost that one, but that one's got a wire going to it, so that must just ground the whole casing. Okay, so yes, so that these two large ones are the mounting points for the switch. That one is to cause the outside of the switch to be part of the circuit, and then this one here comes in, so there's a very good chance it just completes the circuit, but we'll just We'll just see if we can check it. Maybe I need to put it down on the mat. This is where you need 3 hands again. Big Clive is very good at this kind of stuff. I am not very good at this kind of stuff. So, at the moment it's open circuit. Can I hold that in place and press the button? Ah, there we go. Okay, so I am pressing the button. You can see it on the camera or not. There you go. You just see my thumb moving now. So the good news is, that is excellent. The push to torque button completes the circuit. And we've also found out it's these 2 terminals here that are actually creating the push to torque. So if I can take this switch off the circuit board and put a couple of fly leads off there, we can then connect that to our push to torque button on the handlebars, and it should work. In theory. Fingers crossed. Toes crossed. Everything crossed. Now, you know I said that this whole project is going to evolve? Well, it is. It's evolving as we go. Obviously, I need something to connect the push to torque to. I can't wire it into the, or hardwire it into the microphone. And in my box of bits that I've purchased, I've got 2 push to torque extension leads. So all they do is they have a 2-pole jack, I suppose you'd call it. That's the male, and it also has the female there. Look, and you can actually connect them together. They're the same jack, so you can use more than one if you need to. It's there we are. Look, it clicks together really well. It still comes apart, which is nice. So I suggest what we should do is use, because we don't need very long, because don't forget the CB radio itself, oh sorry, the extension lead is already run from the front of the bike, push to torque up into the box, and you know, essentially it's ready for plugging into the well, it plugs into the center as it is on that same jack. So because this is the center part, don't forget, so we can just use a short length of that with this hanging out the side of the mic that's going to be in the box, and then we can plug that push to torque into this. It means that we can disassemble the whole thing when we need to, and if we find a fault at some point on the trip, we can unplug things to test them. Right, I reckon what, 6 inches, 8 inches should be enough, just in case. It gives us a bit more spare in case we mess up a few of the joints. Also, I don't see any reason actually why I need to remove the push to torque switch on the circuit board. All I need to do is wire this additional lead onto those 2 terminals. So that should make life a lot easier, and you know, it'll be again good for diagnostics, because if we're having a problem, I can just press this, and if this one works and the push to torque on the handlebars doesn't, I know it's a problem with that additional circuit. You see, got to think ahead. Right, where's my soldering iron? It's all very last minute, I know, but it's all right. So we'll make it work. Right, we said about 8 inches, didn't we? So there we go. God, and last time I cut a wire like this, everything went completely wrong. Damn. Okay. Confidence, Andy, confidence. This is way outside my comfort zone. So we're just going to see if we can bear that back. It's very small wires, so I've got to be super careful. And of course it pushes my eyesight to its absolute limit, to this kind of stuff, because I can't really see what I'm doing very well. I should get a magnifying glass, but I don't do it often. You know, this is a very rare occurrence to be doing this kind of wiring. So, well, there we go. Look, I can see stuff now. All right, tell me if I cut through the insulation on the important stuff, won't you? So what did you all have to do? Well, I watched Andy try to bear back a wire. Okay, let's see if we can pull that off there. See how much of a mess we've made of it. Okay, well, we've got, oh my word, what have we got? Nothing's ever simple. I'm sure one of these is just a bit of string. Alright, we need to work out which is which. Well, not which is which, but which is the 2. We've got 3 things going on here, and I wasn't expecting 3 things. I was only expecting 2 things. Right, has that got wire inside it? Or is it just string? That feels just like string, to be honest. So, Big Clive, if he's watching this, is going to be laughing his head off right now. Is that wire? I can see that that one is. What the hell's this stuff? Well, it's keeping shape, so there must be a wire in there. Yes, there we are, look, under all that greenery. There he is. Why? Why do you wrap stuff in string? It's just ridiculous. We don't get that on cars. Motorbikes. A wire's a wire. Doesn't need string in it. How am I supposed to solder string? Seriously. Alright, well, I'll get that sorted out. See, actually the green stuff still maintains position, so maybe that's wire as well. Maybe it's the white stuff that's not. So the green stuff is good. What about the blue then? Does the blue hold shape? See, the blue does as well. So we've got 3 wires in there, and there's only 2 contacts. Alright, I need to do some more thinking. Let me work this one out and I'll come back to you. Jeez, focus, damn you. Okay, I've bared back the male plug end just to get an idea of what's going on. Slightly better than the last one. Yes, improvements all around on that one. Okay, so we've got our multimeter on beepy beep, and I just want to see which of these 3 wires is the main terminal. Not that one. Not that one. Oh god. None of them. It's not really anything. Hang on. Okay, I'm just going to permanently connect that to one of the test leads, so we're not messing around anymore. And now I can just work my way through. So we need to know which one of these goes beep. It's not that one. Oh, we did get something out of the green. There we are. Right, green sounds good. And of course blue. I don't know why they've got 3 wires in them. Anyway, not to worry. So blue does nothing. So green, yeah, that works. Happy with that. It's because there's string in there. That's what it is. Right, so now if we put the clip on the end terminal, I wonder if it's going to be the copper one. I hope it is. Oh, it's not. It's going to be the blue one, isn't it? Can we get the blue one to work? Yes, there we go. Look, it's just pushing through the string. Alright, so essentially, because of the way we're doing it, so we forget the copper coloured one. All we're doing to do push to torque is connecting to these 2 wires. So it doesn't matter which one connects to which of the terminals on our... Where the hell's it gone? It's disappeared already. For God's sake, this one here, look. It doesn't matter which one of these wires goes onto either side of this circuit board, because it is just it's going to be a switch, you know. It's just connecting the 2. That's all that matters. Excellent. Yet again, I have my doubts. These are very, very small wires indeed, and I'm a little bit concerned about the insulation properties between the blue and the green, because I don't think this wire really isn't designed to be opened up like this. And if at some point the blue makes contact with the green, then the radio will drop into transmit mode and I won't be able to receive. So I don't like this. I really don't like these fiddly, stupid little tiny wires that I can hardly see and that are full of string. You know, it's not what I would call a proper wire. So I've been racking my brains to think about something I've got kicking around that's got one of these jacks in it that has solder points, and I can just use that and mount it in the microphone casing and then we're good. But I haven't. Well, not yet anyway. I think the first choice, because I've already cut this wire off anyway, is I'm going to cut this open and see where these wires are soldered in. I just want to really use the jack. Now I'm hoping that the actual connector itself isn't reliant on this sheathing on it to hold the whole thing together. It might do. It might all be molded, so when I cut it open the whole thing just falls apart, and then I'm back to where I started, and I'm going to have to take something apart in the house that's got the same jack. Okay. He who dares, Rodney. He who dares. This is all getting very, very bitty, but you know, what the hell. That feels like we're down to metal. Oh yes. Right, I'll do the same on this side. And then I can use some proper wire, you see, rather than wire that's got string in it that really, I suppose, isn't designed to be soldered. Or seen, it, as far as my eyes are concerned. Nearly there, people, nearly there. You probably can't see anything other than the back of my hand. Right. Yes, metal. Okay, so I'm just going to peel that back and see what we get. Ooh, that looks pretty cool. Can't see any connections, but it looks pretty cool. Alright, we'll keep going. On camera, Andy, on camera, because we're only going to do this once. I'm not doing a retake of this. Huh. Can we get that off? Ooh, there we are, look. So the question is it solderable? Can I remove those wires and put on proper wires? I don't know. It all looks very, very crimpy, probably machine made. Right, so that's that off. Ooh, hang on. No, we're going to be... Oh, look at that, it's already broken off. So we've got a central terminal and we've got the exterior terminal. So all I need to do then really is mount this inside the side of the mic, even just glue gun it into place or something, and that will do the trick. Okay, cool. We were right though. Look, you see, look, blue wire went to the center pin and green wire went to the outside. Excellent. Right, I think we might be able to do something now. Let me get set up with some wire. Right, so just going to desolder this one, get this wire off, and then we can put some proper wires on. There's my solder. Now, as many of you well know, I am not a soldering person. I can weld, like some of the, you know, pretty good at welding, put it that way. But when it comes to soldering, I am atrocious. Okay, so I need to tin. I've got some. This is about the thinnest, smallest gauge wire that I've got. So I'm just going to tin up the ends of those wires. Autofocus. Huh. Okay. Playing with the focus at the same time as soldering, that makes life even harder. There we go, that's one. Now, I'm not Big Clive, I can't do this with no hands. It's amazing what you can do with soldering. Right, so we just want to... refocus, okay. Just going to solder that onto there. There's a bit too much solder on that. Right, let's try again. Oh. That's a pretty good joint. I reckon that's going to stay on. Okay, let's pull it out, let's have a little look. I'm pretty happy with that. I'd like to get rid of that sharp bit. There we go, that's better. That's the kind of wire that I like to use. Okay, now we've got to put the other wire on the casing. So we'll just bend him down a little bit. Right, tinned end. Are we in focus? We are in focus, which is pretty amazing. I think we need some more gas. Right, how are we looking? I think that's not too bad actually. Is it going to focus? Autofocus. There we go. I reckon that'll do the trick. Okay, and there's no chance of those shorting out, which was the problem I was concerned about. Okay, now we need to mount this in the microphone casing. I feel a glue gun coming on. Now, just before we go any further, I'm going to put a bit of heat shrink over the black wire. We'll call that from now on. It's not going to go onto the, or is it going to go on there? No, it's not going to go on there, but it's going to give it a bit of protection at least, and a bit more support as well. Right, where's the little exhaust piece? There we go, look. Cool. Okay. Now I'm going to put a second piece over both wires just to again give it some support. Here we go. Yeah, try and give those, because remember we're operating in a really harsh environment and vibration is our enemy. So I'm just going to slide that all the way up there. Don't know how far it's going to go, but anyway we'll try and get it as close to the joint as we can. There we go, that'll do. It's pretty good. Cool, yeah. Okay, we now have a female jack plug, which I'm very confident about the connections. So, well done, Andy. Happy with that. Okay, so we have the microphone. This is the circuit board we're going to use, and it's got the push to talk button on there. So we need to mount this somewhere so that the jack is available externally, and then we need to bring these around and wire these onto these two terminals here. Look, shouldn't be too hard. I mean, they're about as big as you want to go wire wise, but I reckon we can do it. Okay, so where are we going to mount this? This is the question. This is going to sit inside the top box, and it doesn't really matter where. I think maybe through here. If we drill a hole through there, it's got a web here as well. This is where that metal plate was, which we don't need anymore. And then we can fill this with glue and fill the back of it with glue, and it should provide some support. Plus we've got a void there, which we're not using, and then we can run the wires up to the circuit board. I reckon that'll work, actually. Okay, so we need to drill a hole that size, whatever that is. Let's have a look. Oh, I put a new battery in. The letter B's disappeared now, which is fantastic. Okay. Oh, 5.5 on the nail. This is going to be a snug fit. This is so unlike this kind of stuff. In fact, I've done really weird stuff these last few weeks, fixing roof tents and things ever since the CB750 project finished. Okay, so we've got quite a bit of meat to go out. There's quite a lot of depth down there, so I think if we go probably central to that and central to the void, that's probably in about the right place, actually. Okay, let's do a little pilot first and see how that looks. And I'm just going to hold this while I drill it, which is incredibly dangerous, but you know, isn't that what I do now? Oh, we're through the outer wall. There we go. My word, look at that. Okay, right, next size up. 5.5 it said, didn't it? Okay, we're going in. Mrs. Mechanic's getting all the camping gear ready for this expedition that we're doing. And it really is an expedition, by the way. Oh, we've breached the outer wall. There we go. Okay, drill out of the way. Pick in hand to remove swarf. Lovely jubbly. I like that. Now, going to need to go in from the inside to the out, which is going to be a bit fiddly. Obviously, because the wires are already on. Let's just see if it fits first. Oh, it does. Oh, look at that. That is going to be incredible if I can get that into position the other way around, which will actually work. because the more support it can get, the better, really. Right, I'm going to have to just ease these wires a bit. Okay, going in. I don't really want to have to, you know, make the hole any bigger if I can help it. Maybe some long nose pliers. Hang on, because my big chubby fingers tend to get in the way. Right. So without crushing it, because we've only got, well, we have got a spare one, but I don't want to use it because it's my spare extension lead. Do we need that? We don't need that bit. Let me just see if I can drill that out of the way. That's the little screw retainer for the steel plates. Oh, what a job! Look at that, it's disappeared. Best not go too deep because my fingers are right in front of it. There we go. That was pretty amazing work there, Andy, I must say. Right, gives us a bit more wiggle room now. So, pliers. This is going to be one hell of a video. I can feel it in my bones. Right, pliers are stuck on that bit. So we need that bit for the circuit board. So we're just going to have to be a bit more careful here. But it is sort of going in. Oh, jeez. There we go, look. We're through the inner wall. Just got to be careful of that solder. Right. Just got to line it up. We're almost there. It needs to be a little bit further through. There's no reason why it can't be further through, other than the fact that my pliers won't do any more now, so I'm just going to give it a little shove. Oh yes, look at that. That looks almost factory, doesn't it? That is very, very cool. Okay, let's get the glue gun fired up and get that sealed up. I'm just going to work around the camera so you don't get my hand in the way too much. Okay, glue gun at the ready. I'm just going to fill these voids up. Hopefully the old glue gun's good to go. Try and squidge some glue into there as far in as we can. It's not the best glue gun in the world, to be perfectly honest. We've got a bit of back pressure going. You see it oozing out the back, look, when I press hard. Maybe it just needs a bit more heat. It's a very crappy glue gun, in all honesty. I can see why Mrs. Mechanic gave me it now. Mrs. Mechanic, I want a really good glue gun and not a battery powered one. I want some more in there. I want to really support this little component because we're going to be plugging in and unplugging the jack, and in all honesty it is actually quite a tight fit. Here's the jack. This one is going to go in the bin. Now it dribbles. Bastard. But this one hopefully will do the trick. Didn't realise Mrs. Mechanic had another one. She says, oh yeah, the old one, I gave it to you because it doesn't work. What the hell? Seriously? Right, let's see if we can pump this full. Look, this is better. Look, it's working now. So I want to just inject as much as I can down there and support the thing. I'm going to need to put some more glue in it, actually. There we go. Right, a bit more. Just want to really fill up this void and provide as much support to that jack as I can. Oh man, it works! Look at that, I can inject glue everywhere. Don't go mad, Andy, don't go mad. Why not? It works. Okay. Remember the cable has to go out of there. Right, that'll do. Glue everywhere. Okay. Oh god. I think we'll be alright at that. So, we'll let that cool. Next job is to install... My god, glue guns, who deal with them? Sorry, that was terrible camera work. The next job is to connect these two wires to said circuit board. So I'll get the wires trimmed down. I'm not going to trim them down too much because I can put any excess underneath. There's plenty of room underneath anyway. It's always good to have a little bit of spare. So we'll put a little pig's tail in there, look, oink oink, and then hopefully we can wire that. Doesn't matter which terminal which one goes on, but I do need to tin the wires first. Okay, let's give it a go. What could possibly go wrong? There we go. Right, I just want to put some heat shrink down these wires that we can bring up to the circuit board later on. Again, it just helps support things a little bit, you know, it's not just for insulation purposes. Getting very, very low on heat shrink. Okay, so I'm just going to slide that all the way down there as far as it'll go, and we'll bring it back up later on. Same with that one. Okay, so we've got a rough idea how this is going to work. We need to solder these two onto the circuit board. On there, look. Right, let's just dress those wires up. The connections are a bit long really, aren't they? So we can tidy those up a little bit. There we go. I found some brand new side cutters in the toolbox. It's pretty cool actually. Okay, so I'm going to need to rig this up professionally. Okay, well, here we go. Just do with, you know, a magnifying glass. That's what I was after. Where's Big Clive when you need him? Is that on? I don't know, I can't really see. I think it is. It is on. Wow, okay. Let's try the other one. Burning fingers. There is still an air gap onto that mount there, so that's good. Turn that off. Right, take him out of the clamp. What do you reckon? I think maybe we're alright. Circuit boards are not my forte, as you can tell. I suppose if we'd overcooked it on this one, it would spill out onto what looks like this part of the circuit board is all common. I think we're going to be okay, actually. Ow, blade. So one thing we can do to check is plug it all back into a radio, and if that is contacting, because basically, where's my little pointing stick? Okay, this will do. If that wire on the circuit board, that track there, is connected to this part of the circuit board, it will be in the TX mode. It's basically joining the circuit. So if my solder's messed it up, then we'll soon be able to tell. I hope it hasn't. I haven't got many spare circuit boards. Right. So we need to, if we're going to plug this back on onto a rig, we need to reconnect only temporarily these. So that's, hang on, that speaker that goes in that one. God, I blow things up. Right, and where's the mic one? There he is, Mr. Microphone. So I'll plug Mr. Mic in. God, everything's so frigging small. I think it goes the other way around actually. Contacts down. Yes, there we go, look. Right. So mic is plugged in, speaker is plugged in, push to talk is you know, accessible. We now need the cable out of the one good mic. I've got to take another microphone apart. Jeez. Okay, good microphone cable. The only one that Andy didn't mutilate is off, and we're plugging it into there. And now we can get a radio. Woohoo! Where's the radios gone? There you go. Just zoom me back a bit. Okay, so we've got a bit more room on the screen now. This is one of the faulty radios. However, it does still transmit, so I'd rather blow this up than blow anything else up. So that goes that way around. Don't need to wind the little screws in. Turn that on. Okay. Not hearing a lot. Oh, no speaker, that's right. Speaker doesn't work. Okay, I was expecting it. Right, so if we press, first of all, press the... So we're not transmitting at the moment. I'm going to press the push to talk on the circuit board. There we go, look. You can see the little symbol coming up on the screen, bottom right, for transmit. You see that? There we go, look. Okay. Now, if I get one of the push to talk switches, and here we have one, and we plug a push to talk switch. So good news so far, because it's not stuck in the transmit state, so we've not knackered the circuit board up. I'm going to plug that into there. Oh. Right, it's in, it clicked. Okay, we're looking at the push to talk button and the screen on there. I'm going to press this. Oh, yes. Look at that. Right, that is a go. The rest is downhill all the way. Right, without disturbing these too much, I want to get some heat shrink put on them. Oh, come on. Don't want to break it now. So very happy we've made that bit work, and that was sort of the critical part, really. There we go. Slide that one up. Not going to go any further than, oh, there we go. That's even better. And slide that one up. Straighten the wire, Andy. Straighten the wire. Carefully straighten the wire. You can do it. Oh, there we go. I like that. Perfect. Right, so let's get those shrunk down. Nice. Okay, now we also need to snip some wires off for the speaker and the mic, because we're not using the speaker and the mic in this one, are we? So, without completely destroying the wiring, so that just in case I need to use the mic again on the trail, I'm going to leave a bit of a pigtails on it, so probably about there. He's done it now. So that's the microphone. Black and red, and they need to be extended a lot, like to the front of the bike. That's going to be fun soldering those up. And speaker. Okay, we can do the same thing with the speaker. We'll just snip it off there. Okay, so we need to extend the speaker as well. So these wires are going to be going out the side of this mic. These ones we can just fold down out of the way for now. We don't need to worry about those. So the circuit board can basically go back into position now. So hopefully we can get that done reasonably easily. So I just want to support that joint, hopefully, as I'm doing this. Otherwise we're going to have a problem, aren't we? Where's my pliers? Need some pliers for this. I really need to support that joint. Okay, there we go. Right, can we get that in there now? This is the question. Got to lose all that spare cable. Now, that's the screw hole it's got. Like, there is still some room. It's in the way I push the torque lock. Ooh, Andy, don't knacker it up. Whatever you do, don't knacker that up. and up a little bit. Jeez, what an amazing bit of soldering that is. Hanging in there so far. Alright, not easy being as bad as me, to be honest. All you electronics engineers out there are going to be absolutely cringing at what I'm doing, but hey, if it works at the end, I'll be very, very happy, and you'll be amazed actually as well, which is pretty cool. Alright, so we've got some conflicting stuff going on here at the moment, but we'll try and get the circuit board in, and then we'll deal with that once it's in. Right, both circuit board screws are tight, so that's where it needs to seat. We've got those two to extend, and it's going to need another hole in the side to run those cables out. That's all easy. The hard bit is now just massaging this so we can actually close the case. I mean, maybe ideally the wires could have come this way. Maybe I need to resolder that one and tidy it up. I don't want to play around with this one though. This one is very fragile. It's not ideal, but I think we'll get away with that one where it is. That one's sort of just okay, but this one I need to sort it out off camera. Okay, we now need somewhere for some more wires to come in. These are the 4 wires that we're going to use, the colour codes. We've just gone through that. So as regards section, probably, I don't know, maybe a 6mm hole. We'll be able to get that through. I'm not too sure. Looking at the mic, I think the best place for it to come through will be on this side here, and I think probably around about there. There's a bit of space for it, plus it's near to where we're going, and there's a bit of room in there for wires and stuff, because you know it's getting quite busy. Okay, drill it with the circuit board in situ, Andy. Yes, we can do that. We're not going to drill into the circuit board, sure we're not, or the speaker. Maybe. Way. Okay, that's the little one done. Now this is, that's a long way out. This is a 5.5, what we used on the jack, so maybe this will be enough, I'm not sure. Take your time, take your time, take your time, take your time. Don't rush it, Andy, because it'll all go wrong. Almost there. Whee! We are there. Okay, let's see if that's going to work, and then once the wires are all through, we can just fill it with some hot glue or something, I don't know, whatever works. Bit of a journey, isn't it? Nah, they're going to be too tight. We're going to need, we'll go for a 6.5, I think. Okay, nearly there. Too far out. Don't like drills that are too far out. Okay, 6.5 going in. That was relatively painless. Excellent. Can we get all 4 wires through a 6.5? There's still a bit of meat left if we need to go bigger, but no, look at that, you see? That's actually quite a nice snug fit. It's going to look very Frankenstein, isn't it? Okay, I've unplugged the microphone plug. These are tiny little wires of these things. Honestly, how do people cope with this kind of stuff? Oh, look at that. Excellent. See, lads, never cut your nails. Right, same again. Can we do it twice? Probably not. So delicate. No, we can't do it twice. Of course we can't. Should do now. Oh yes. Wow. That was probably completely off camera, but it was pretty good going, and probably totally out of focus as well. But we have bare wires. Now on the microphone we're using a brown wire to go onto the red and the black wire onto the black. Sorry we have to keep changing colours, it's because I don't have a lot of wire to hand, and at the end of the day I don't want two reds in the cable because then we won't know which one's which. Okay, where's my little holdy on thing? Right, let's get him put in the clamp, and hopefully we can wire up some wires to him. Oh yes, very nice. Now the other problem is I'm running out of filming time on the phone. I've only got 16 minutes left. No, 14 minutes left. Jeez. So I have to clear some stuff out of the phone. I want to make it quite blobby, so I've got plenty of solder for doing the joint. There we go. Right, what did we say? On the mic, brown to red. Okay, let's just tin up the brown. Massive size. It looks huge, this wiring, doesn't it, in comparison? That's the brown. And the other one is the black. Just double checking there. Okay. Right, said Fred, so it's going to be black to black, so we'll just pull the red out of the way for now. That's pretty good. Just pull him out of the way. Oh, geez, that exhaust sort. Right, now brown onto red. Can we do it again? Probably not. Where's the exhaust? Get rid of the exhaust. That's pretty good. Right, heat shrink. Let's try and beef it up a bit. Right, heat shrink is on that little microphone wires. God, they're so small. Let's put that to one side, and now we can do the speaker wires, which are a little bit thicker, so hopefully a little bit easier. There we go. Super job. Right, I can come out of there now. For this particular exercise, all we need to do now is thread these through the hole that we made and then plug it in at this end. Now I'm going to plug it in once I've threaded it through because I don't put any pressure on the joints. But hopefully we can do this. Oh, yes. Yes. Now I want obviously the thick cable to remain inside the housing, so things are going to get a little bit tight, but I think we can make it work. Can we get the red one through? I know you can't see a lot, but we are. Oh yes, look at that. What a pro. That's what we like. Right, I'm just going to pull them through as far as the heat shrink, I think. It's pretty damn tight. Okay, we've got a bit more room with the speaker ones, so we're just going to tuck them all down there. Get it under the circuit board, plenty of room. And then we can bring the little wires back and rotate because it's upside down. Can you see? I keep not checking the camera, sorry. This is a one-shot deal, I ain't got time to retake anything. Okay, support the socket. There he is, he's in. Oh man, that was tight. Look at that, modified. I like modified, and we know what all the wires do as well, which is good. Don't worry, that's the wire we cut off for the microphone, so we'll just tuck him down there out of the way, hopefully. There we are. Okay, I don't think that's too bad a job. So we need to glue gun the crap out of this now. So I'll get that plugged back in again. And we're going to hope that everything works, but I think it will. I can't see how it cannot. The connections are all pretty damn good, actually. Nothing's pulled out. We've got black and red going in there. We've got white and red going in there. And we've got our external wires. So the next thing for me to do is to find a 4-way plug, male and female, so I can plug this, have a plug between this and the loom, the basically the mic stroke speaker loom that's going to go to the front of the bike and then connect to the helmet. And I found in my drawers one of these things. Now I don't have the crimp tool for these. It was ridiculous. It was about $600 for the crimp tool, so it didn't happen. But I have got some connectors. These are called a DT connector kit, 4-pole, quantity 1, and they're from Hella. Hella, if you want to send me a crimp tool, please send me it through. Right, not done one of these before. It looks like we've got, they're actually a very, very high spec connector. Very, very high quality. Used a lot on fuel injection vehicles, modern vehicles. So we've got the male, the female. They connect together. There's some real nice drag on these pins. So that's good. These are the crimp ends. So maybe we can solder the wires in. Not sure. So we'll give that a go. And then we've got to work out how they actually go into the connector. We've got some grommets either end as well. Fully waterproof, bit over the top for what we need, but it's to hand. And the rule is we can only use stuff in the workshop, so we can use that. Okay, glue gun at the ready. Has it warmed up yet? Get rid of the excess, don't need that. Bit longer. Time for a cigarette.
Hey! While Andy's doing that, check out my Instagram page, Tool Girl Holly.
I'm back. Right, I freed up some storage space, so we're never going to get the speaker and microphone out of these ones, are we? Out of this particular unit, but it doesn't matter. I just need to glue all this lot up. Just flood it with some glue so that these wires all stay, well, basically where they should do. And it just stabilizes these little speaker wires and stuff. There we are. That's not going anywhere. That's a lot of glue, Mr. Young. That's a lot of glue. Okay, get rid of that. Turn that off. Coolio. He who dares, Rodney. Right, well, I think we can put this thing back together now, and then we can get some connections put on the larger wires, the outlet wires, and then basically we're on a roll. Right, I've just put the little push to talk button in there and dropped the seal in. So now we can get one of these lids and we can stick him on there, and hopefully the whole thing's going to close. Why wouldn't it close? Ah, god damn, it's those wires. You think they'd be okay though, wouldn't you, actually? I think maybe it's because inside the lid we've got these little pins here, look. And of course one of the pins clears these two mounts. That's annoying. Okay, I wonder how far off it is. Yeah, it's right on where those wires are. Okay, I'm just going to grind out that little pin with the Dremel and then we can crack on. Not sure if this bit's going to work, but it's the nearest one to hand. Look at that. It's pretty good, isn't it? It's sort of turning it into fur. There we go. Ooh, that might fit. Let's give it another go. We're almost there. So close. What could now be stopping it? There's nothing else really that's in the way. I don't think. Something is. We've got rid of that pin. Maybe the glue, because you can see the 4 pins go in these 4 holes here. So maybe the glue's in. Yes, you can see where it's been touching. So I'm going to need to grind that one off as well. Bugger. Oh, that was good. Just drill you in, Andy. That'll do. Second time lucky. Oh, we're almost there, I think. Yes, that'll work. Nice and tight, it's always good. Right. Where's my screwdriver? Dum 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 dum. 4. Excellent stuff. So the next job is to fit that connector that we found onto these 4 wires. Right, I've been looking at this DT connector. Not used one before, so we'll fumble our way through it. I think first we need to just slide some heat shrink down there, and we'll just tidy that bit up with some heat shrink. Again, give it a bit more support. Where's the there we are, look, soldering iron. That sort of works. Okay, now trim all wires to same length, obviously. So the white's the shortest, so we'll just snip them all. There we go, other 3 to that. Now, next job is the connector itself has this nice grommet at the back. So I'm going to try and thread all the wires through. There's one. That's pretty easy. There we go. Right. So that sort of works, doesn't it? Now, we're going to be using the male, which takes the female inners, because I've been checking. So we'll see if we can get these put on there. So we're just going to twist that round. I said that we're not going to crimp it. We may still crimp it. I don't know how well it will solder, to be honest. So I don't know if they're designed to be soldered. And they go in from the back of the plug. They just drop down there and then they clip into place. So that's the idea. So that needs to go onto there. Do we solder it or do we crimp it? If we're going to solder it, we really need a bit more. I don't know. What do you reckon? Soldering will be a far better job, but how do you get the solder in? Maybe we can just flow the solder in. Maybe. Let's give it a go. Okay. Jeez, we don't need all that flame. Let's just bring him right down. Okay, where's my solder gone? Andy, you're never very organised, are you? Okay, we'll get some fresh solder. Okay, we're going in. Wish me luck. So I'm just going to warm up the actual terminal. How did that go? It didn't solder at all, did it? Oh, hang on, it just latched on at the very last second then. So maybe we need to push it a bit further down again. Okay. See, we may have to still crimp, we don't know yet. Oh, that feels pretty good actually. It is soldered all the way around. Okay. Times 3 more, I think. So all those are now soldered on in position. Hopefully you saw some of that. I'm not sure if you did or not, because it looked like it was off camera. But yeah, I did this. I soldered them, and they seem to be pretty good, to be honest. So, next job, the connector. Now, they go in from the back. So, again, we want red and black are a pair. That's the speaker. Yeah, hang on. No, hang on. Sorry, hang on. Red and white are a pair. That's the speaker. And brown and black is the mic. So, we'll pop them in the little holes. Hang on, to camera, Andy. You've got to do stuff to camera, it's no good. Okay, so we're going to pop those down there. Try and push them all in at the same time, and then that way we don't have to bend the wires too much. You can see them all coming through the connector now. Oh, that's that one in. They've got to go right up to the front. Oh, that one's gone. That one's misfired a bit there, look. Mr. Black, what's going on? Can we push you back? I think we can. Carefully. Alright, just got that one to line up now. This is for the male side, which has the female connector terminals in it. Wow. Okay, so that now goes in there. Give it a wiggle. Right, and it should go all the way down flat. Jeez, and it's not. It's hitting a dead stop. Why? There's plenty of room down there. Just have a little fiddle with these little tabs down here, make sure they're all clicked over to one side. Ah, no, that one's dropped down, but Brown has dropped. Right, Mr. Brown is back up. We might be okay now. Okay, so they're all over to one side. Let's give it another go. Gotta make sure that this goes in dead straight, otherwise it'll catch either side of the little release clip. Oh, there we go, look. Aha! Fantastic. And then the males come in from the other side and they make contact. Oh, I like that. Sheesh! Should have watched the video at the start. Hella do a really good video on how to install these using the proper crimp tool. I wish I had the crimp tool. I don't have the crimp tool. Like I said earlier on, Hella, you're welcome to send me the proper crimp tool, and then we won't have this problem again, will we? Well, I'll say, actually the soldering part wasn't really a problem at all. Quite like the fact we soldered them. Okay, so we now have the male plug with the female connections inside, and everything seems very, very happy. Just going to double check that. So that one connects That one connects. That one connects. That one connects. Yes. That one seems a lot further down. I wonder if Mr. White has slid down a bit. I think he has. Hang on. Bear with me. I don't know how the hell we're going to get this out now. Yes, there we go. Ah, look. You see? It's worth checking. He's dropped down as Mr. White. Let's bring him back up. Okay, so he's now where he needs to be, and we'll have another go at getting that in right down the center, making sure the white doesn't move. There we are. Actually, I'm quite pleased I got that on camera, and no, it wasn't a pig's ear, it was a demonstration of what not to do. Funny. Right, so that's a good drag on there, good drag on there, good drag on there, and a good drag on there. Okay, perfect. That side, this whole unit now is finished. Bloody hell. That took how long? 2 hours? 3 hours? I don't know. Are you still with me? It's taken a while. It's quite an epic little mission is this one, but we're getting there. The next step is to make up the extension lead that goes from that connector, runs under the seat, under the fuel tank, and then mounts to a socket, which I've yet to find something for, on basically around the handlebars central area where I can then plug in the helmet. Hopefully we'll have some kind of coily wire that goes up to the helmet, and then we can install the speaker and the microphone on the helmet. And then I can test it, but we're a long way off from that yet. Right, I found some 7-core cable, the same stuff that we used for the wires that came out of the side of the mic. It's got the right colours in it, so we're all good there. So we now need to install the other half of that connector onto that wire in a much more speedy fashion, because now we know what we're doing, don't we? If we get Mr. Plug and stick him on there gingerly, then we've got a reference. So red needs to go this top corner. So red goes into there. Wait for the click. We've got to listen for the click, says the man. Right, it's going in. Right, I didn't get a click. Let's try and get a click. There, that's the click that we need. Okay, so as a reference then, the next down here is black. So we'll pull him round, get him round here. So black needs to go into that one. Oh, that's so much easier. Why didn't I think of doing that? What a bloke. Okay, underneath the red is the white. So that's that one. Listen for the click. Hopefully we'll get a click. Right, it's coming. Ready, wait for it. That's it. Clicked into place, and finally the brown. I like these connectors, and they're very good actually. I might need to buy the crimping pliers now. Okay, brown. Hopefully it'll hide my burnt bit. Still a bit further to go yet. You can just see it coming through on the plug there, look. It's this bottom left one here. So, oh, there he is. Right, so he is also clicked into place. Excellent. Now, the next job, if I can find it, where is it there, is this little green thing. And this is going to have to go all the way down the bottom. Now, obviously, the reason why this wouldn't fit the other one is these are a lot smaller in diameter, so it should click into place just fine. So I'm just going to make sure that we're all... In fact, where's flat screwdriver gone? See, this bench is such a mess, it's unbelievable. Okay, so these two, the clips are not all the way up yet by the looks of it, so that's Mr. Red. If you look inside there, look, you see we've got the two on the left hand side are a lot closer together, which means they haven't quite seated properly, which is weird, why they wouldn't seat properly. There we are. Because the actual connectors are all the same depth. We heard them click, didn't we? Right, let's give this a go. Now he said to use some pliers, so I'm going to use some pliers. He says it's a bit difficult without pliers. So we'll stick him down there. In fact, put the pliers on the top bit, because there's nothing in the way then. Are we on camera? We're on camera. Let's do it then, Andy. Let's do it. Okay, so down there. Take that out, put him in the middle, push him down. And it aligns all the pins. That's really good. And that's everything we have. We don't have any more bits, so that should now work. Ooh, nice. I do like that. I think that's a pretty good job actually. Let's try uncoupling. This is where the proof of the pudding is. Wow. Okay, almost good. Almost good. Just pull that one out there. It's a bit weird. That's a very weird setup. Oh, I know why, because that's off the outside. Donkey. Hang on then. Let's get this fixed. So that goes over there. Like that. That's better. And then he goes in there cautiously. Should not really have come out, to be honest. Like that. They're all good. And he goes up there. Okay, well, we'll leave that off for now. That's how it works. Maybe a bit of silicone around here would be good, just to help it slide around rather than pull out. Yeah, we can do that now, actually. Stick a bit of silicone down there. A bit on the connector. Coolio. Give it another test. I like to do tests. Right, plug it in. Unplug it, and it all stays in place. That's excellent. Okay, that seems to work. Okay, now we need to tidy up this end of the cable, and I need to put some of that really cool conduit stuff. So the first thing is some insulation tape just to hold that lot back. Right, we're going to use the Hellerman Titan Hella Tape Flex 1000 Plus. Good stuff. It just happens to be what's in the drawer. So I just want to tape these wires just back and out of the way, just to try and tidy it up before the flexy stuff comes over. And if all goes to plan, we'll never need to use those wires, but it's a good idea to keep hold of them rather than just snip them off, because I might need to run a wire to the front of the bike for some reason, you know, for something. May not even be related to the CB radio. Right, okay, now we need that super flexy stuff. I don't have enough left. I only have a bit, so I'll have to just use a bit. It's just the way it's going to have to be. So it's very cool, this stuff. I need to get some more, obviously, because it's so good. But it stretches really easily over stuff, which is cool. And the technique is to sort of, you know, work it like a little centipede down the wire. I do like it. And you can, you know, it massively increases in size. Can you see that okay? Come on, focus, damn you. So it massively increases in size. It was in the last video, but I thought it deserves to go in this video as well, because it's actually really good. Right, it's all on. This is all I've got. So we'll just wiggle it all the way down. And I might have to use some longer stuff on the for the other half of it, because it really needs some sheathing on it. You can't see anything, can you? Believe me, I'm just wiggling it down. And I've picked up some tissue on the way. Right. There we go. Okay, so just got to bring it back a little bit, and then we're going to put some insulation tape around there, and then it'll look pretty damn tidy, I think. I could use heat shrink, but I can't be bothered. And also, insulation tape is a lot easier to get off if you're in the middle of nowhere. And I'm going to be in the middle of nowhere. And I have to think about this kind of stuff. There we go, that'll do. Where's that blade? Right, that end is completely done. Now we need to thread it through the box before we can do the other connector, which is also going to involve putting it along the frame. So you don't need to see that bit, I can do that bit, but unfortunately it doesn't go all the way. We've got about 1.5 foot exposed. Bugger. I have got some bigger size stuff, so maybe I'll just use that. Right, that cable is all finished, and I managed to find some more of that that sheathing as well. And the only thing that's left to do is to fit the final plug, but we can't do that until we thread it through the output of the top box. Once that plugs on, I won't be able to separate it from the top box, unfortunately. Otherwise I end up with a massive hole in the top box, and don't want that. Okay, let's go and do that, because it's already 6 o'clock. It's going to be tea time soon. Right, said Fred, we're back in the top box. Now, these bolts are for the aerial. I'll take the aerial off for a second. We've got to fit this, you can't see any of this, but there's a little tiny, I say it's not small actually, it's about 1 inch across. It's got quite a few wires going through now. So we'll see if we can fit this cable through the hole. Oh, there's the other bolt. I wonder where he'd gone. I think it might just fit. It's going to be really close. Really, really close. Phew! Only just. Wow! It's a long cable. Right, that should leave enough cable in the box to connect to the CB radio, or to the microphone should I say. And so now we can run it across the frame with all the other wires that I put on this bike. Geez, poor little bike. Always the front, then we can try and work out where the best place is for a socket. And I've found a really cool socket for the job. Oh my word. Right, so I'll try and follow the same route as the rest of it if I can really. So we'll go through there. All that can cable tie up together. It's pretty impressive amount of cabling now going on this bike. Under there. Then back up. This bit wasn't easy last time, to be honest. It's a fair size cable. Maybe we can just run this one straight over the top. Oh, I know I can go. Hang on, bear with me, bear with me. Whoa, petrol. There we go. Right, so that's going to work. If we can get him through. Oh, jeez. Why so tight, mister? Because there's not enough room, Andy, that's why. Okay, it's going to have to go through there then. And follow the other one up. When you're threading a cable through, you've got to look for all these sharp edges on the frame and stuff. Because the last thing you want is the whole thing to be chafing against something. That was the whole reason for putting this special conduit stuff on. Oh, man, it's going to be close. Now we're just going to run the cable through along its chosen path for now. And then once we know it all works, then we'll zip tie it up. Because the last thing I want to do is burn a load more zip ties and then have to cut them all off. Where's that going to come through? Right, change my mind. I'm going to bring the cable up on the left-hand side of the bike all the way down, best I can, because I don't want to zigzag across the frame because that's going to use up valuable cable length because we're really, really short on cable. So I'm going to bring it up here. There's a nice little wire clip underneath the clutch cable. There's a spare slot in that, so I'm going to bring it through there. And then I'm thinking under the bars, like that. We've got a little bit of spare, so once it's all connected up, I'm going to make a bracket, I think, off these two bolts here to plug in the helmet. Then we should be using about that much wire, and then we've got a little bit to go back into the top box. Okay, let's go and find a plug to go on there. I've got an idea where one might be. Let's go and take a look. Now, in one of these drawers, there should be, oh, that's the rest of my little connectors. Look, these are very, very cool. I only got one of each, but definitely be using those a lot more often now, for sure. Very expensive though. Nope, not in there, but we're going to be using some of those later on for doing the aerial wire. What about this drawer? What's in here? Fuses. Nope. That's the little fuses, not in there. Okay. Relays and switches and other stuffs. Well. Now that's what I was after. These should be 4-pin. These are used for winches and stuff. 4-pin. That's what we need, isn't it? 4 pins. And we've got a spare one. Even better. How many plugs have we got? We have a plug. We have another plug but missing the grommet. Not the end of the world. Okay, that's what we need. 1 plug, 1 socket. Excellent. Right, it's all coming together really, really well. Very happy with these little plugs. I bought these in England probably nearly 20 years ago. They've been sat in my drawer. So I'm going to make a bracket up first. I'd like to set it at a bit of an angle rather than like that because, you know, rainwater can pool in. But if it's a slight angle, it'll be even better. And the bracket needs to come forward a little bit. So we've got room for the cable at the back and maybe forward and down. Maybe something like that, but it all depends how much space we've got with the fuel tank. So I'm going to make up the bracket. There's no need for that to be part of the video. And when we come to fit it, then we can get this wired up and installed and move on to the next step. And that'll be do the helmet and the wiring for the helmet. See you tomorrow in a few seconds. Well, how's that? All wired up with a nice new bracket. Awesome. Now that's basically all the wiring done on the bike, bar some tidying up to do in the top box. We'll do that later on. Let's now test that. I'll pull a mic apart. We'll be able to wire up with some jumper leads and using the plug into that new socket and see if we can transmit and receive. Fingers crossed. If it all works, we can crack on with the helmet. Here we go. Right, I've just stuck some little fly leads in the plug. There we go. And we've got some jumper leads. So we've got, now then, where's my wiring diagram? Okay, so speaker first. We've got speaker red. I'll just clip that on there. Obviously making sure none of these connections touch. It's only a temporary thing. Onto red. So it's red to red for the speaker. And I'll have to use a yellow for this one. So speaker white to white on the fly lead. Temporary, by the way. And the green connects to the red on the microphone. So that's the brown wire coming out of the plug. And then lastly, black, microphone black to black. There we go. Right, let's put a radio in it. Okay, this is one of the new undamaged radios, so Andy, don't break it. Hopefully. Alright, we'll plug that in there. Don't need to do the little clips. And we'll turn it on. I've connected this, by the way, to the new loom that we just installed that runs up to that plug. Sorry, that socket. Oh, that sounds promising. We've got a noise from the speaker up by the bars. We'll stick him in there just to hold it. Right, I have the second radio. I'm going to go for a little wander down the garden, and you tell me if you can hear something out of that speaker.
Okay, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
Well, did it work? Let's find out. It did! We can hear stuff! We can receive! That's excellent. Right, let's find out now if you can transmit. Okay, I'm going to set you up over here on the bench. Just bring the camera down. There we go, look. Right, here's your radio. Let's turn that on. Super job. We're on the right channel, channel 1. Perfect. Right. Tell me if you can hear me coming out of there. Okay, this is testing, testing, transmitting from the bike to the viewers. Can you hear me? Over. You did! It works! That's fantastic news. Right, we'll get these turned off and put safely back in the box for now. Gotta treat these radios with the utmost respect because there's no more coming this way. Right, both turned off. Check. Close the box. Fantastic. I am so happy. Honestly, bloody good little DR. Well done. It's now starting to play ball. I've got motivation back, which is what it's all about, isn't it? Okay, so the bike side of it is done by the tidy up in the top box, and I want to put a partition in there as well so I can still use the rest of the top box, and the stuff that I put in doesn't crash into all the radio gear and the wires and stuff and cause damage. So that's probably something I'll do, you know, off camera, and then we'll just show it near the end of the video. Now, the helmet. I like this helmet. I've done a lot of stuff wearing this helmet. It's very comfy, but it needs lots of modification. We need to basically fit some kind of a boom that's going to come around here and mount the microphone, and I also need to mount the speaker where these holes are on the side. In addition to that, obviously we need a wire between the helmet and the bike that's going to go onto that plug that's in the new socket, and I'm very limited to coily wires. I've got 2 of these from the 2 spare microphones. One really is a little bit too short. I'd prefer to have a bit more you know, flex on it. I don't want it to be stretched a lot because it's going to be constantly pulling against your head. But I also don't want to join 2 of them together because A, it doesn't give me a spare, and B, the tiny little wires in here which are, you know, it's going to potentially pull on that joint. So I might have to come up with some way of strengthening the joint so that there's no pull on it. I'm going to need to extend these wires anyway down to the plug because the plug can't cope with the little terminals, can't cope with these tiny little wires. It needs a bit more meat to grab hold of. So, work in progress. Where do we start? I think we start with the actual helmet. We'll come to deal with the flex issue a bit later on. I'm going to keep thinking about that. Yeah, so I need some kind of a boom thing. Let me go and see what I can find. I was thinking last night that maybe, just maybe, an old handguard, a bush guard, you know, off a trail bike might do the trick. It's got an aluminium strip built in. I won't need the whole thing, but it's sort of got the right kind of shape where we could mount it to the side of the helmet. I might need a bit of a tweak here because obviously the microphone needs to end up at the front, and the microphone can be housed inside here. I'm not too concerned about the speaker, that's going to be a lot easier, but we need to get a boom sorted out. So I'm going to have a play around with this and I'll come back to you shortly. Right, are you ready? This is what I came up with. Yes, look at that. Very cool. seems to work out extremely well. And inside is a little aluminium spreader plate thingamajig to just give it like a giant washer, so it doesn't stress out the plastic too much. It should take a reasonable knock without it causing any problems to the helmet itself. Obviously, if I fall off, it's probably going to break the helmet, but you know, I think for this particular task it'll work, and this bit will provide an excellent shield for the microphone, so we should get good audio when I'm talking, or transmitting at least. So next job is, well, really, we're still on the helmet. We need to fit the microphone and the speaker, and then I can rig up some kind of wiring down to the bike. Now, in the interest of trying to keep everything as dry as possible and as protected from the elements as possible, I'm going to keep the microphone component inside the mic body. Now, I've got 3 of these mics. Fortunately, we'll use one for the microphone. We've already used one in the top box as sort of the master, and then we'll use the last one for the speaker on the side of the helmet. It won't look fantastic, but the idea is its reliability. That's what's critical. It's got to be reliable. I can't have this thing failing, and if I can protect the components the best I can, then you know, why not? Right, just tinning these wires. They're not, these microphone ones are so small, it's unbelievable. Hang on, try it on there, look, that'll do. How's that? Is that a good joint? It is, it's pretty good actually. Right, let's chuck a bit of heat shrink down it now to try and support it. Now, be careful with the joint, Andy. I saw what was going on then. Right, that'll work. Just unclip that now. I think we might need some more gas again. I wonder if Dremel intended this little exhaust to be used for doing this job. It is extremely good. Okay, I need to recharge the torch. Now, as soon as we've done the black one, we'll hot glue gun these wires somewhere inside the casing, and then we'll bring them out through here, and we'll just put a blob of glue glue on there, again, just to keep the moisture out. Make sense? Right, I'll get the other wire soldered up and then we'll put it back together. Oh, the glue gun's finally woken up. Okay, so just want to get these wires something like running down the side. Right, plenty of slack on the cables. I'll just glue gun it down there. Can you see? You can't really see because Andy's hand's in the way. Right, I reckon that'll, oh, hot. That'll hold that top bit. Not really a fan of glue gun, but it sort of works pretty well with this stuff. Right, then we're going to run it round and out through where the cables normally go out. So we'll give it some more glue in there, look. Hopefully we've got enough left. Just flood that base with Shop Dogs keeps escaping. So you might hear her in the background. She's not happy at all. I think that's going to work out pretty well, don't you? Yes. There we go. Right, screws. This is fun. I'm really enjoying doing this project, actually. Now, I wasn't before. In the first episode, it all went tragically wrong. Hey, they've done the mic. It's got to fit it to the helmet now. And then we get to do the speaker. Ooh, that'd be fun. Okay, we need more glue gun. I reckon that'll do, actually. Looks pretty sealed up to me. Not pretty, but it should do the trick. Right, I'm just going to put some heat shrink down these two wires, just again so they sort of support each other kind of thing. Tie them together. As the wires come out of the mic, it just takes a bit more stress off the glue and everything, you know. Julia. Right. Now I was thinking about how we're going to mount this in the actual helmet, you know. Do we keep the clip and just have it so that it just clips into place rather than it actually be screwed in or glued in? I mean, it's a very smart clip, and the really cool part about this is we can rotate it. It's like that. So it clips in from the top, and gravity just so it keeps it in place. So I need to make up some kind of a little raised piece that's just bolted in. This can actually clip to. Obviously we need to make sure it's nice and tight and it doesn't vibrate, otherwise you're going to get a background noise, so if you're conscious of that as well. Okay, let me see what I can come up with. Well, that turned out pretty damn good, to be honest. As luck would have it, I had to, well, the design lent itself to having this moved forward one notch. So it's only actually bolted the helmet by 2 bolts, but inside the helmet is the aluminium bracket, and that's the 3rd bolt. I'll be tidying the lengths of the bolts up, don't panic about that. Now, if you look inside, you can see the mic, and it does just clip into place. It's possible to remove it quite easily. Can I do it to camera? Maybe, I don't know. It's not that easy. Hang on, I've got to get to the little spring clip on the inside. Oh, there we go, look, you see? Now, it just hooks, in fact, while it's out, I'll show you. It just hooks onto a little metal riser on the inside, and of course we've got 2 bolts sticking out the front, but that's all right, it doesn't bother me. And of course now the mic's basically done. We're just going to put some conduit over the outside of these wires and then wire these into the speaker mic, where they'll be joined to the coiling wire that goes down to the plug. So we're not far off. It's 3:05. Since I really want to get this finished today, I know it's going to work, which is even better. So, best crack on. Okay, so this is the microphone. Look at that screw. This is the microphone that we're going to use for the speaker only on the side of the helmet. And I'm going to leave it again inside the casing because, you know, it's going to keep the moisture out and stuff. It's going to be a lot better for survival. I'm going to remove those bits of metal. There's my screwdriver. In fact, I'll do that off camera because that's going to be a bit of a ball ache because they're all glued in and everything. Now, this is the coily wire that we're going to use. Obviously, it's still got the plug on, so we can get rid of that. There we go. Now, we've got 4 colours in here, so the colour codes are going to change again, but we can use the red and the white. Sorry, the red and the white. No, I'm not colourblind. Not yet. The way my eyesight's going. So basically, we can just wire those 2 together, and then the speaker is on its way down to the plug. Pretty good. And I think it's the same gauge wire, so this shouldn't be too hard to do as long as I don't. I've only got a small amount to play with, so I don't want to mess this bit up. There we go. Phew. Okay, that's those 2 done. So I'll find the smallest heat shrink I've got, and we can get those 2 soldered together. Okay, I'm going in. Big fingers, little tiny wires. Right, Mr. Heat Shrink. Oh, and bad eyesight to go with it. There we are, look. Mr. Heat Shrink is down out of the way. I don't have white, I've only got red and stuff. Black, maybe, green. So I thought just doing both in red, it'll be fine. Okay, right. Need to remember to keep the exhaust of the soldering iron away from the heat shrink. Where's my solder? There he is. Right, first job, tin the wires. I actually put my name down to do electronics when I was at school, when I was about 15. And unfortunately it was all fully booked and there was no space. I missed out there. I'd have enjoyed that, I'm sure. I'd have learnt a lot more. My skill set would be a lot better on this kind of stuff, and I'd have a better understanding of this kind of technology, I suppose you'd call it, wouldn't you? Right, hang on, let's get, don't set the cardboard on fire. Just put that away to one side for a second. Let's get this one in my little clamp. There we go, look, how's that? Well, we're on camera? We are sort of on camera, but the problem is it focuses on the cardboard, so if I'll have to bring it right... Oh, Jesus, that was hot. If I bring it right down like that, then we should sort of be in focus. There we go. And then we'll just bring those up, and I'll try and do it at ground level for you. How's that? When I'm watching YouTube videos, I absolutely hate it when things are out of focus. Unfortunately, sometimes it's a one-shot deal and you don't realise you're out of focus. You know, we don't have directors and people watching whilst you're filming. It's all done on my own kind of thing. So things can go wrong. That's a good blob, I like that. Right, let's try it. Ah! Hell, that was hot. Holy shit! Note to oneself, don't try to wipe away molten solder with one's fingers. What a dumbass. Okay. Right, we're going to bring that up. We have to bring it up. So I wonder if it will focus on that for you. Maybe. If I do that. There you go. It should now be focused, he says. Alright, so, believe it or not, let's do the white one first, because that's at the back, and just get rid of the red one. Who obviously wasn't listening to me. Right, we'll get rid of the red one. Okay, white. Is that any good? No, it's a bit crap in it. Bear with me. I could twist them together. I could have done that. Oh, that's terrible as well, isn't it? Is that any good? Let's have a look. Let's inspect the crapness. Tug test. Well, it is as one. Oh, there's a lot of air gaps in it. I don't like it. I don't like it. And I can't take it. I can't twist them together. I don't think. Or can I? Give it a go. It certainly would make a better joint. There is no doubt. Oh man, hang on. Let's do you overhead. I imagine a lot of this is going to get edited out, to be honest, because I don't think it's very good viewing. Right. So I am going to twist those together with my massive fingers in comparison to these little tiny wires. and that way it's going to hold them together whilst I solder. Hopefully give us a better joint. Not something I normally do, but it's what I'm going to do today. So there you go. For all those people that were shouting and screaming at me, Andy, twist the wires together. I did. Right, let's do the red one. And let's just twist them straight together. Right now. Right before I mess the whole thing up. Yeah, that wasn't bad, was it? Right. Jeez. Don't wipe the molten solder, Andy. Okay, happy with that. So now we can flatten those down. I don't know if the heat shrink will go over it anymore. I hope so. Flatten it down, and then we can get the heat shrink over the top. I hadn't planned on doing it this way. I did choose the smallest heat shrink that I have. Okay, let's try doing it with the fold that way. It's getting pretty close to the plug, but it doesn't really matter, does it, to be honest? At least that way it's in the right direction for the heat shrink to go over. Oh, yes. Yes. He's done it. Right, let's try the same thing with the white one, which is precariously close. And it's not as it's no way. Oh, look. Look, it broke.
Bet you didn't plan on that.
Right, I'm going to redo that off camera. Bugger. That took a lot of patience. I did manage to get it done. I went up a size on the heat shrink as well. So now that can go into there. Well, it needs the grommet putting on, but we'll put him in there for now. Okay, so the speaker is wired up. We're not using this mic, so we can ignore that. Now we need to bring in the wires for the actual microphone that's going to come into here and connect to those two, and then we can seal this up. So I think the next job is really we need to mount this to, unless we have two connectors. So then we can take the mic off independently. If we don't do that, then the whole thing's wired up, soldered. Yes. Okay, let's just wire a couple of fly leads up, and then we'll have a couple of connectors on it. Motorcycle type connectors. How's that? Okay, so we need brown, and we need, well, there's a short bit of brown, and we need black. And the only one was short, and the connectors will be external. Now, it won't matter. They'll be well sealed. They'll be all right. They're good ones actually. So we'll just snip a bit of the black off, and we'll have the connectors somewhere near the mic. But I think we need the ability to be able to unplug stuff and diagnose and bypass and that kind of thing. Okay, now we need to drill a hole to bring these wires in, or we could do it through the push to talk button actually. That would work. Seems we've already got a hole and we're not using it. So if we push that grommet out, hey, look at that, and we bring these two wires in through there, job will be a carrot, won't it? Right, so we'll just get these bared back, the wires, just for clarity. Okay, right. Give them a twist. People don't like me twisting wires, but you know, get over it. I like twisting wires. They look better and they hold together better. Okay, so they're both. Are they going to both fit through that hole? Is there enough hole, or do we need to drill it out slightly? Let's have a look. I think we might be alright. Oh yes, good tight fit. That's brilliant. I like that. Oh, get off the mic. The other mic. Mic. Okay, so we've got that one. If we bring the brown one back a bit, we've got that one. And that one. Actually, we need a bit more. We need slightly more. There we go. So, we need to make a mental note of what colour we are connecting the black to, and what colour in the flexi we're connecting the brown to. So you need to remember and tell me later on, because we can't get them the wrong way around, otherwise things tend to go bang and pop and we let the smoke out, which isn't what Andy likes to do. I should have bared those back earlier on when I had the chance, you know, on the metal. Jeez, I can see the blood coming out shortly. Okay, the problem is, once you do that, you can't bloody see to finish it off. Right, I'm going to get this bit done and I'll catch up with you shortly. This soldering lark is really testing me now, but we're so close. In fact, these are the last two joints. Oh no, they're not quite the last two joints, but we're not far off. Okay, so I've already put the heat shrink on. I've already bared the wires back. It was successful the first time, which is nice. So we've just got to tin the wires again now. I know you hate watching me solder, and the chances are this will be a video bit, or a snip, which will be in the archives of my computer for many years and never actually go out on the internet. I mean, if this was you soldering, would you put it on the internet? I don't think so. Okay, so we're going to do the black to blue, remember that? That wasn't bad, was it? Hopefully the heat shrink's going to go over it. And brown is going to go to, I'm running out of solder. Brown is going to go to green, so remember that please. I'll need to know later on. Come on, you can do it. There we go. Okay. We need to put the green one in the special crocodile clip holder, which is very cool. Simple to make as well. Give me a little twist. In you go. Thank you very much. Right. Okay. I think we're not half bad at that. There, look. Can you see? Focus. There. Right, I'll keep it on that level for you for a bit. So it's a bit blobby as the black one. Hopefully, I might have to remove some of that blobbiness. And the brown one, I think will be okay once I bend that bit down a bit. So I'll just let it cool down before I slide the heat shrink on. If you slide the heat shrink on too soon, it starts to shrink as you're sliding it, and then you're screwed. You've got to start over again, basically. Yeah. So I think we've done a good, pretty good job there. Well, obviously, we're going to put some glue gunny stuff in there again. I can't bother to take that metal plate out. The helmet will just be a fraction heavier. Doesn't matter. My neck will hurt anyway. Right. I think we should be there now for heat shrink transfer. You've got to be careful with this because, you know, we've got little wires going on. and it was actually quite tight getting the heat shrink down. There we go. There we go. Is he going to go on? I find that when you're putting it on, if it's a bit of a tight fit, just roll it across the wire. And it sometimes just helps it to... It's going. There we are, look. You see how I'm twisting it round as I'm doing it? God, I could do it with smaller fingers. Right. That feels pretty good. They need to be heat shrunk or heat shrinked. Okay. A little bit more yet. There we go. I think we're there. I think we're there, peeps. Okay, so I need to bring up the seal that goes around. I keep calling it a grommet, but it's not. It's a seal, really, isn't it? That's going to sit in there and give us a really nice outlet, which is what's going to go down to the plug on the bike socket. Sorry, on the bike. So all that's left to do now is just tidy these up a little bit. Make sure they're all in a place where we can glue gun them down. Shouldn't use a pick for this, but it's a lot smaller than my fingers, so I think that will work. It's all looking pretty good. Plug in the glue gun. Wait 5 minutes, so maybe time for a cigarette. I don't know. Let's just pull that through a little bit. There we go. That looks better, doesn't it? Now, obviously, no glue gun can go on the speaker area, so we're going to stick a bit around here and stick a bit on the outlets, and I think that'll do. To be honest, don't need to go mad. Okay, just get that bonded down there, look. Just got to stabilize the wires because they're so small. If they keep vibrating around, they'll break. Break is not good. Right, I'll just put a little bit on the back of here. To keep those wires in. Right, I reckon that'll do. Now I'm going to cheat with the grommet because I can't bother to thread it all the way down the coily wire. So feel free to tell me off in the comments. Now, which way around is it? Hang on, before I go cutting it. So we're keeping the top side, which is that side. So I'm going to get rid of the bottom side. There we go. Give it a trim. Nice. Totally out of focus, Andy. Useless. Okay. On he goes. Honestly, who would go to this extent to get a radio, two-way radio working on your bike? It's been quite a big job, to be fair. And nobody else would do it. But I need it to work because I'm filming. Okay, well, that can go on there. All sealed up nicely. Right, where's the screwdriver? And if you really want, you can watch me put some screws back in the microphone. Can't believe we've used 3 microphones to make this work. But it seemed since I had all the bits, it just seemed the easiest way of doing it. And it has sort of protected all the wiring and things, isn't it? Okay, right, next job, put some connectors on the end of here. Well, actually, the next job is to put a little bit of heat shrink down there, like I like to do when they come out of something. So let's find some of that. A bit of red. Red looks good. I've got black. Black would be even smarter because it's on the side of the helmet. Have we got any black left? Oh man, I don't think we have. We've got blue. No, we used up all the black. What do you want, red or blue? Oh, let's use blue. That's near to black, isn't it? We need half of that. Right, we'll stick that down there. That's just going to help to tie those two together. Cool, yeah. Right, make them the same length, Andy, because you have to do that. And bear them back, so don't mess up. You see, bigger wires are easier because you can see them, and they're easy to bear back as well. Right, I will go and get some connectors. Crimp connectors, I believe, this time round. Motorcycle stuff. Like we used on the CB750, because they're cool. I just had to get some motorbike connectors on this somewhere, didn't I? So, look at that one down there. Hopefully you can see it right. On camera, Andy, on camera. Right. Prepare for crimp. Doodly-dee-dee-dee. Crimping incoming. There we go. That's that one. Okay, crimp incoming. Now that should have been on there, but there wasn't enough to go back, so it's alright. I think we can make it work. We will put that on the other one and it'll still seal. Woohoo! Right, so we need the helmet now, so we can mount this. How's that? Doesn't it look good? Okay, it looks a little bit Frankenstein, I understand, but I think given what we had available, I think it worked out pretty well. So, you know, I'm very tempted to put some kind of a cover over this whole device here. I'll have a look and see what I can find, and you know, come up with some kind of a plan. I'll just keep the rain off, give it a second defense. So all that's left to do now is fit the plug, and then it should work. Woohoo!
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. The helmet is all finished apart from a little cover on the side. It's pretty damn good, isn't it? I think it's pretty crystal clear, and I'm very, very happy with it. I think I've done a fantastic job based on the equipment and bits and pieces I had kicking around the workshop. So, the adventure is on. But before we do that, back to the bench.
Woohoo! It bloody works! I mean, there's no reason why it shouldn't have worked, to be honest, but a lot of work gone into getting this final Plan B modification done. I've wasted probably, I've burned probably about a day and a half to get this whole job finished, and it's not quite finished yet. I've still got the microphone that's in the top box to mount. I want to make a partition in the top box to stop all the crap crashing against the radio equipment that's in there. But fundamentally, the helmet, very happy with it actually. It's super comfy, is that helmet, and the boom idea using that buster, you know, bush guard thing off the handlebars of a motorcycle worked absolutely brilliantly. The speaker is crystal clear in the helmet, and you heard the mic. It really is very clear. I know we're very close, but, you know, it is clear. It's a lot clearer than what the Senna was when I had the Senna in circuit in the system for the very short time that it did work before it blew a radio up. Yes, that's all in the past. We now have full CB Citizen Band on the bike. I've also got to do the exterior aerial. That's my next job. And then I'll tidy up the mic, then I'll make the partition. So it's 10 to 7 now. I'm not going to get all done today. We're not going to leave first thing in the morning. I've said to Mrs. Mechanic we're going to leave on Wednesday morning now. So what's one more day? We can make it work. I've got 3 or 4 days spare of leave at the end of the trip schedule. So I'll now just have a couple of days less. It's not a problem. I'm not going to sweat over it. The important thing is that the bike is ready to go because it's got an epic adventure to do. It really has. I can't stress just how testing this journey is going to be. Anything could happen. Okay, crew, well, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I've certainly enjoyed doing the work. I know I didn't film soldering every single joint. In fact, actually, let me go and take you across and show you the cable that I finished off connecting the helmet to the bike. Here we go. So, round we go. I won't bother to unplug it because, you know, I've taken the little tab off that locks into the lid so that if I do fall off, this will just pull clean from the coupling. As you know, I was a bit concerned about the length of the flexi wire, so I added an extra 20 centimeters of normal cable and I did a joint up here. Now, my other concern was with that joint, it's going to be under an awful lot of stress, so I actually I got a metal bracket, drilled a metal plate, drilled 2 holes in it, and zip tied with a big strong zip tie this cable to give it an anchor, and zip tied the 4 wires that are in here which go into the plug. I zip tied that as well. So basically all the stress from the soldered joints in there, which are also heat shrunk as well, is completely eliminated. The stress is transferred down the metal plates. So I'm hoping that that will survive. But it's all I could do. I had to have a longer lead, and I didn't want to try and join 2 of the flexes together. I felt it was just as easy just to use normal wires for the last little bit. So yeah, I reckon it'll work just fine. I mean, to be fair, when have you ever seen a farm bike with all this gear on it? You know, it's going to be phenomenal. And look at me bench. It's just a disaster zone. This is nothing to what it was yesterday. You know, I've actually had a bit of a tidy up to do that little piece to camera with the helmet on. I sort of I pushed all the crap to one side, but I mean, seriously, it really is just, it's going to take half an hour at least to tidy this lot up. So there you have it. A bit of a strange sign off, but I do like the look of this helmet. I really do. It's very, I don't know, it's almost zombie style, isn't it? Your zombie apocalypse style, where you've made do with all these bits and pieces that are kicking around. Yeah, me and my helmet, we've got a long way to go. So we'll stick that down there. Sorry, camera. Oh, Marmite's going mental. If you enjoyed the video, why not click on the subscribe button, ring the bell, basically turn on notifications, and then YouTube will send you, sorry, shut up, Marmite. YouTube will send you an email or whatever to tell you I've uploaded more videos. Now, the trip itself is going to be filmed. It's the adventure ride. I'm on my own. I have got a support vehicle shadowing me to carry all the gear and do all the charging and carry the laptops and that kind of stuff. It's from Cape Reinga, which is the furthest northern part of the North Island, New Zealand, all the way to Bluff, which is the bottom of the South Island. Now, in a straight line, it's probably about 2,000 kilometers. I'm not doing it in a straight line at all. I'm trying to cover as many interesting gravel roads and tracks as I possibly can all the way down, basically zigzagging my way down the country. I haven't fully planned the South Island section yet. I've not had time to do it, so I'll be doing that on the fly on an evening while I'm doing the trip, real time. But it will be filmed, and I anticipate a mini series going out on the channel, probably 4 episodes, maybe about half an hour, 45 minutes each maximum. I really want to just include the highlights, the best bits, the worst bits, when things go wrong, and they will go wrong, there's no doubt. I mean, the bike came off a farm. It had done 13,000 kilometers around farm. It was in a terrible state. You've seen from the videos of all the repairs. It was just basically thrown away, and I rescued it, and with Holly's help we got it all fixed up, but we've done no work to the engine. It's an unknown quantity. I don't know how well it's going to survive. It doesn't burn any oil at the moment, and it starts really well, so fingers crossed. We have put a new clutch in it. That's one thing we did do. So those videos will be going out on the channel probably March, I would say, but I will be doing the odd live stream en route as well, so you'll be able to follow me in real time as the trip progresses, but that will depend a lot on where we can get good internet. New Zealand is not good for good internet, believe me, not in the rural areas. So you'll be able to follow that on real time through the live streams. I don't know how many there'll be. There certainly won't be one every day, I don't think, but we'll see how we go. But the actual series should hit the channel, I would say, probably back end of March, maybe early April. But I'll keep the viewers informed via the live streams. Okay, crew. Well, you'll also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Feel free to communicate through any of those portals. And my email address is down the bottom in the description, so you can flick me an email through and I'll do my very best to get back to you. It is me that answers those emails, and I'm a very busy chap. So forgive me if I don't get straight back to you. Now, very important part. For those that would like to support the channel, you can do that through Patreon or PayPal. Choice is yours. Patreon's a good one if you just want to do a small donation every month, you know, a couple of dollars, whatever. PayPal is probably better for a one-off donation. So the choice is yours. Again, with PayPal, same email address, andymechanic@live.co.uk. Okay, crew, well, I really need to crack on. I'm still against the clock and I'm still behind schedule. So I'll see you around. Cheers. Over and out.
And you get the flip up again.
Oh!
Really.